Thank you very much for purchasing this Notion template for a bank holding reconciliation. I hope you find it useful. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me at the email address specified at the bottom of the template main page. So thank you very much. I'm going to show you how to use the bank holding reconciliation template in Notion that I've created. In this video, I will attach to the template itself in this position here. The reconciliation template has three different sections. The main section is the main reconciliation screen at the top. And then we have two other databases or sections, one for our data and one for the bank data that will match against our data. The process initially is to get the data from our data and bank file and into the main reconciliation screen. And the way in which we do that is to select as such the data that we want to cut or move. And then we go to this section up here, click on the three dots and move to template reconciliation screen. And that has the effect of moving the data from our data into the main reconciliation screen, which is where we want it. Now we need to do the same with the bank file. So we select on those three items. Again, we go up to this little section at the top of the database, click on the three dots, move to template reconciliation screen. So you can see now we've got no data in our data or bank file. And all that data is now in the main reconciliation screen, which is where we want it. We want to match it against each other. The main reconciliation screen is split into four different views. The first one is requires attention, which requires attention. The second one is reconciled items, so those are items that we've matched in requires attention and now do not require attention as they are reconciled. There's no items in there at the moment. The third is data that's been assigned to a particular user. In this case, I've just said assigned to me, Paul. So all the records that have been marked as assigned to myself will show here. And the next section will be items with comments. So any records in requires attention that I've written a comment to will show up in items with comments. So these, I think, are the key or fundamental process areas in a basic rudimentary reconciliation process. So I'll go back to requires attention, and I might want to group this data. That would be a typical thing to do in a reconciliation. So I can actually do that in Notion by clicking on these three dots here and then selecting group. And then I'm going to actually group by security name. And I'm going to hide any empty groups because that's just a little bit distracting. Okay, so what we have here is actually that grouping that did not remove one of the. Okay, I'm not going to show anything with no security name in it. There we go. Okay, so if I go back to requires attention, I can see I've got one record which the bank has provided, which I've called theirs, the site as theirs. I have two grouped IBM records, one from our side and one from the bank side. And I can see the holdings are different, the holding quantity are different there. And then two records for the Microsoft holding, again, one from our side, one from their side, and these appear to match exactly. So what I can do, as I've seen that two records match, they have the same security name, they're from the same portfolio, and the same holding quantity, and the same date. What we can do is we can use this reconcile button or checkbox to match those records together, and they disappear from our requires attention because they're matched and they no longer require attention. They should pop up now in the reconciled items view, which they have, which is good. So we see our Microsoft holding and their Microsoft holding, and they're out of the way now. They don't require anyone to look at them. So they're done and dusted. So we go back to requires attention, and we have a forward record on their side, on the bank side, a holding of 9,000 in portfolio B. We don't want to reconcile that, and we may wish to assign it to someone. So click on that selection drop down, and we just have one user in this case in the template, which is me. So I'm going to assign it to me to investigate. And I've just done that. It still remains in requires attention because it does require attention. It's not matched. So anything that's not matched effectively is still in open play to be investigated. But it will go into this assign to Paul view here. So there you can see the record is assigned to me. So go back to requires attention, and we still have our IBM records, which have been grouped together because we've grouped them on security name. But we can see that the holding quantity is different. So the bank is reporting a holding of 24,500, and we are reporting, our side is reporting a holding of 245,000. So it might be in this strange example that the bank is effectively underreporting by a considerable amount because of a missing transaction. So that is an everyday scenario. It's just quite a big discrepancy here. So again, we wouldn't reconcile. We may wish to assign again to someone to investigate, but I'm just going to apply a comment here that the reconciliation discrepancy is, excuse my spelling, is due to an unreported transaction. For example, I just apply that comment here, and what we can, I could do it on the other side as well, but I'll just leave it here for demonstration purposes. And if I go down to my next, so we've been through reconciled items, we've reconciled some items, we've assigned a record, and then our record that has the comment attached is in the items with comments view. We may also wish to export this data to be sent to someone or to be absorbed by another system. And again, we have the out-of-the-box Notion functionality of export, which you can see here. We also have import, so we are able to import the data from, for example, a CSV or Excel file straight into the main screen. So these our datas and bank files can be imported directly from a file. But the purpose of this template is to effectively give you the ability to view data, our data, bank data, and to be able to match it using a main reconciliation screen, or technically a procedure, a logical procedure here, which makes sense from a reconciliation process point of view. So thank you very much again for purchasing this template. I really appreciate it. If you have any feedback or support questions, please do not hesitate to contact me in the contact email that I will also insert into this template. But for the time being, thank you very much.